What's on your hockey wish list? I'll tell you what's on mine. For the past few months, it's been actual hockey games. But I'm optimistic. I got my fingers crossed that the 2021 season is just around the corner. And we'll finally be seeing the back of 2020. But enough of that. Enough of the negativity. Let's get into the holiday spirit and talk about what each Canadian team should have on their wish list this year. Can I add to my wish list? My voice not cracking would be good. Let's get right to it. Starting with the team that's furthest east, the Montreal Canadiens. Now, hockey's a pretty rough and tumble sport, and you're gonna get bumps and bruises and maybe even miss a few games, but let's avoid the long-term injuries. This past offseason, the Montreal Canadiens acquired Jake Allen in hopes that Carey Price can maybe have a lighter workload and be Carey Price when he's in the net. You don't want to be hearing about Carey Price getting injured, or Shea Weber, or Brendan Gallagher missing any more time, or how about Mr. just signed a 7-year contract extension, Josh Anderson. You don't want the one goal him, you want the guy who's flirting with 30 goals. The Montreal Canadiens can avoid injury. Ooh, they're good. They're much better than last year. Eric Engels keeps saying that they've passed the Leafs. I don't know why he says them specifically. I think he does it just to annoy me. We now go to the furthest team west, the Vancouver Canucks. Yes, they acquired Braden Holtby via free agency this past summer or past October. God, this has been so messed up this year. And that's great and everything, but the Canucks' #1 wish needs to be that Thatcher Demko wasn't a flash in the pan. It's probably unreasonable to expect him to be as utterly unbeatable as he was in games 5, 6, and 7 against the Vegas Golden Knights in the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs. But if he can be better and significantly better than his numbers were last regular season, ooh, the Canucks are looking good in net, even without Jakob Markstrom. Jacob Markstrom, I always forget. And speaking of Markstrom, if nothing else, the Canucks wish list should just be beat the Calgary Flames. They stole half your team, you have to make them pay for it. Now, the Ottawa Senators, your wish list needs to be that the young guys take over this team. Now, Steve, Thomas Chabot and Brady Tkachuk, haven't you been watching? No. It's not enough that they be the top scorers, the top point producers, the best players. They need to be this team's leadership, because a lot of veteran presence walked its way out the door over the past few months. Jean-Gabriel Pageau, Bobby Ryan, Mark Borowiecki, and all those guys. You can pull out any chart you want. It matters to have their presence on this team. And if that wish is too many words, I'll give you a shorter one that's just 4. Matt Murray Revenge Tour. For the Edmonton Oilers, their wish list needs to be just make the playoffs. That's it. Doesn't matter how. Just make it there. There's no point in talking about things that they need to improve on, because they improved on them last year significantly. They were 5th in the West, might have even been higher if we got to 82 games, but we didn't. We had COVID, they only had 70 games, and they had to play in this weird play-in, and they got eliminated by the Blackhawks. Make the playoffs. Does not matter how they do it. Jesse Puljujarvi pulling off a comeback for the ages wouldn't hurt their chances. Now, if the Oilers' wish is just to make the playoffs, heading back east, the Toronto Maple Leafs just win a round. It doesn't matter if it takes you 4 or 7 games, if the games are 9-8 or 1-0. It doesn't matter if you get outshot 50-8 every single game. Get out of the first round. Get out of the first round. Get out of the first round. Because what have the Leafs' last 4 seasons been? Out in the first round, out in the first round, out in the first round, and out in a round of the playoffs that did not previously exist. And what do the Leafs need to do to make the playoffs and get out of the first round? Just make Freddie Anderson's job easier. Now, for the Calgary Flames, what does their wish list need to include? Just beat the Canucks. I know I said it earlier that the Canucks need to just beat the Flames, but because these guys took such giant chunks of each other's rosters, mostly the Flames taking the Canucks players, their games are just going to mean more. And it looks like they might be playing each other even more than usual with the All-Canadian division. It's so good. Beyond that, I think the Flames wish list needs to include a renewed identity. What are the Calgary Flames? Because they're good. They're good. They're a good hockey team. They made the playoffs. They got Mark Giordano, but he's kind of getting up there. They got Johnny Gaudreau, but there were trade rumors around him. What are the Calgary Flames? Are they the cardiac kids we remember from 2015? Are they the meat and potatoes brand of hockey that we remember from the early 2000s, especially 2004? Whatever they are, pick something and be that. And last but not least, the Winnipeg Jets end the PATRIK LAINE saga, either with a contract extension or a trade. This is a kid who was drafted 2nd overall just 4 years ago. His good seasons are 40 goals plus. His bad seasons are 30 goals plus. He is a goal-scoring monster for all his warts. And all we've had for the past 2 seasons, maybe even longer, are trade rumors. It can't be good for the dressing room to constantly have that, and for the fan base, it has to be exhausting. So make a statement. Either sign him to a contract extension and say, this is our guy, or be done with it. So, that's what I put on my hockey wish list. What do you got? Leave a comment in the comment box down below. Who do you cheer for? Tell me what you want your hockey team to do. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Eggnog. Underrated, I think.